Grr. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? How are you?
Good, good. Been a while.
It has. How are you doing?
Pretty good, actually, yeah. Games have been going... They were going bad, and now they're going good, so... Hit the
Okay.
clip of my life yesterday.
Hit the clip of your life?
Yeah, do you
Show
want
me
to
the
see it?
clip, of course.
Okay, hold on.
I also kind of lied. I think I threw out my back while lifting, and it's very difficult for me to like sit up and like stand up and like walk around. Like it's very hard, and it doesn't help that I have a gamer chair, so that does not make my
Yeah,
back
they're
feel
so
any better.
uncomfortable.
I
No,
forgot.
I
Like
feel that.
I've always had a good back, so I've never like paid attention to it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I
yes.
know. I don't regret, like... I don't know. I haven't been to the gym in, like, ages, and, like, every time, like, I get back into it, I hate it, because I always, like, injure myself.
Yeah. I just like
But...
it's the first time I've ever injured myself in the gym, and ow, it hurts.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm so fucked.
Okay. 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 Okay.
This was yesterday too. This was like me. I was trying to get VOD, so I was like playing Fade all day, trying to get a VOD, and I kept winning, and all the games were like complete wipeouts, and I'm like, God damn it! Like I need like a bad VOD to show him, cause like I obviously don't want to show you the games that I'm playing well in, cause like I feel like I won't get as much criticism, but I did find a bad game for you.
Okay.
So.
Okay. You. Oh, you did post it. Hold on. I gotta like I see it on Twitter now. God damn. All right, proud of you. Good job. Okay, so if you pull up, let me pull up some things. You want to link your tracker as well as the VOD. I know I see the VOD, but there's that. Also, that's recently I haven't been streaming on Twitch. I've been streaming my VODs on YouTube, so it'll be an unlisted link that you can do whatever you want with.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you gold 2 the last time I saw you? Gold 1? Gold 2?
I think Silver 3
Silver
back
3?
in like
Holy,
April.
holy
Yeah.
fuck. Silver 3 to Ascendant. Wait, I got the YouTube title now. I coached this girl from Silver to Ascendant. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh,
So it does look like you made a lot of progress. Like a lot, obviously, from Silver to Ascendant 1. That's a lot, like actually. So good job there. Is there anything that like you're confused about specifically? What the fuck is this jet? What is this?
yeah, my friend needed an account, so that's what those games are. Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
I'm not gonna lie to you about those ones. Like
that's valid.
you can obviously tell those ones aren't me. But
yeah, I was like
any other ones, like
I was like, where did
from
this
the
come
chamber.
from? Yeah,
The chamber on, that's me. But no, I've been like getting into scrimming and stuff. So I've been kind of struggling like using util like more so for my team, like and playing like the initiator role. And that's kind of what I like want to focus on, like how to play initiator like both in scrim and in ranked, because it's completely different, I feel like, and I'm kind of struggling like scrim wise with like agents besides like fade and stuff, and just like timing. I don't know.
We'll probably introduce some concepts then, and we'll see what you kind of know, because a lot of times, like when it comes to using a utility, it's about understanding the actual use behind the utility and the value in it, and then like the timings behind the value. So we'll see.
It's not. It's not. Like it's literally like completely random. It's just luck.
We'll see what. We don't need you to. We'll see what's going on. Icebox. Okay. You picked the Icebox for your VOD. Yes, silly. Anyway, we'll see. Because Icebox is one of those
I
weird maps that it's like really hard to like teach on because it's like a very pug heavy map. But
well, it's like I don't know any Fade lineups like on this map or anything.
if you don't know Fade
Um,
items, let me show you something. Go to valoplant.gg and then go to create a strategy, and then you'll see this little tab that says lineups. It'll give you all the basic ones that you really need. So if you go to Haven,
oh, cool.
and then or not
Okay.
Haven, or you go to Icebox and you look up Haunt, there's all your Haunt lineups. There's any real C's lineups, but most of these are like eh. Like here's the thing with like Icebox is it's like it's a map that Fade's played on, but not really. And obviously you can switch between attack and defense, right? So switch. But yeah. So some of these are like okay, but at the same time it's like whatever. For the most part, yes, I do think Fade's good on Icebox, but I would probably stick to playing like Sova. If you play like in a shadow, then again, if you like scrimming and you play with a team and they want you to play Fade on Icebox, I mean, go for it. But
yeah, the only initiators that don't know how to play is Breach and Sova. So usually I'd probably go for like KO or something, but
okay.
I want you to mostly see Fade because that's who I play like in ranked right now. The most too.
Okay, so we check our eye. Okay. This is also something right away. We'll talk about this. The point of throwing your eye here doesn't really make any sense because the knife is going to force anyone off this angle, right? So it's like you have to be interpreting like what the value of your utility is as you're using it. Like what are you trying to accomplish, I think is a big standpoint or a big goal that we could have for you going into your next however long, right? Like what are we trying to do? So the big thing here is like if we go to our little strategy tab and we look, okay, let's say we're playing Fade, right? And we throw this eye and a knife is already landing here. It's like, why did we throw this eye? Like, what was our objective behind it? Was our objective to force off this chamber? If our objective was to force off this chamber, then, well, the knife is already going to do that, right? Because no chamber in their right mind is going to just stay. I mean, then again, it's ranked, so maybe a chamber does. But, like, you know, majority of the time, chamber shouldn't stay. And if he does, he's kind of dead. Something you can do off the start is just kind of throw your eye to here. It's kind of like a replacement for Sova. What it kind of does is make sure that nobody's walking under. You know, it protects the orb right off the start of the round off barrier. So that's something you can do to implement like whatever. But then like you understand like what the objective is, right? And as you're scaling, like let's say you guys are going up the map and you throw your eye to here, right? Then you kind of know what you're trying to do with your eye. You're trying to scan, right? You're trying to scan 410. You're trying to scan behind the box. You're trying to scan this little alleyway under back sight, right? So it kind of tells you what you're trying to clear, and that's what makes the ability good. Okay. So I don't mind a lot of time. I mean, yeah, I don't mind like flicking dogs also, because like yes, communication is important. But I always give like leniency in ranked because like I don't calm half my utility. At the same time, yes, calm utility. But like a big thing is like here, it's like you just flick this dog like to the left and like let it go, right? I don't mind that, but at the same time, you only have one dog and your team is going to scale up, so you might as well get maximum value out of it and just not be in the fight for a couple seconds. I think that's like a way better plan that you could have done in the sense because it's like it's not like your team is pressuring yet. So if you look here, right, look at your teammates positioning, right? It's not like they're actually like pressuring. Like yes, your jet's up here, but it's not like she's in the center of sight and you're just here throwing a dog while she's already in the sight, right? Your dog is the thing that's leading, and since your dog's the thing that's leading, you want to make sure that it's going to get the most value out of it as possible, right? So.
Yeah, map awareness is like a big issue that I like know I'm struggling with.
Yeah.
I think there's like a lot of examples in this game of that too.
I think it's not necessarily map awareness. I feel like it's more anticipation. Like, yes, map awareness kind of goes into it, but like anticipation of what your teammates are going to do is kind of like important of like, okay, what is my teammate going to do? So I'll support that. And then also being able to adapt. So let's say you were throwing this dog and then all of a sudden your jet was already top sight while you're throwing this dog. If you just like let it go and then just decided to run with it, that would be okay, right? But like it's just kind of one of those things of like adaptability mid round, and then you get flashed through and they double peek you. Unlucky. No. Okay. Okay. I probably wouldn't just do this like in general, but there's no real reason. It just doesn't feel good. Watching it back, it doesn't really feel good. And the reason why it doesn't feel good is because you either have two choices, right? So when this Viper wall's up on Icebox, you either have two choices, okay? You can either wait for the fuel to go down, right? You either wait or you push through it, right? And you're kind of sitting at this staggered point where it's like, if they decide to push through this wall to try to catch you off guard, you're kind of in this position where you're like fucked. So it's like a lot of times when you're waiting, okay, I'll talk to this about you in like also a scrim manner. So in Icebox, it kind of works what I like to call chunks overall as a map, right? So if you look, and then, so this is kind of how the map works as a whole, is you have these like chunks, right? So you start a barrier. If you're defaulting, your objective is to control, how do I make this like a fucking elephant trunk or something? I don't know. Your objective is to control one of the first chunks when you are quote unquote defaulting, and then wait for rechargeables to come up. So this map is all based around rechargeable utility. And if you go watch pro play, a lot of it'll seem like that. But then again, there's also teams that scrap more, and scrapping just means you're going out and fighting like because you feel like you can, right? So there's this map can either be scrappy or super utility based. It's you get to choose which one. So in like ranked, a lot of times it's just super scrappy.
Like, it's just son
So
Sheriff. He just whiffed.
Oh god.
That's my boyfriend.
Yes. The good old
Have your badge ready.
complaining about people round one. I always like that too. It's
Have your dads ready.
not very helpful. It's a bad mindset to get into, right? Anytime, like, yeah, you know, it can be your boyfriend or whatever. I don't really care, but like, I'll be blunt. It's like the second you start complaining about your teammates is the second you've already lost. And like, I know it's not you.
I've had the huge problem with like tilting and stuff. Yesterday was actually a pretty good day, but like, yeah.
The reason
mental
why
is big.
I'll tell you the reason why is because people don't realize it, but other people rub off on you. So who you hang around, you know, that's, I don't know, there's this old saying that it's like who you hang around is who you will be in the next 5 years, right? So if you hang around somebody who tilts a lot, right, then you are going to tilt a lot. If you hang around people who eat a lot, then you are going to become fat, right? That's just like how it normally works, right? That's how life works. So it's like your environment leads to your destination, essentially. Now, obviously, this isn't the case 100% of the time, but 95 to 99% of the time, this is what will happen. And since that happens, you have to be careful, right? It's like if he tilts a lot, he might not be the best to hang out around. That's, you know, at least play the game around is like something that's whatever, right? It's like I am somebody who tilts to himself a lot when he plays with others, right? So a lot of times I prevent myself from
like when I solo
others.
queue, I don't get mad. I don't know why, because I can't blame it on anyone else. Like that's the thing, you know?
It's because of what happens in the sense of like you're talking with somebody that you think is good at the game, so it's easier to see flaws in other people because your focus is directed more on them when something goes wrong rather than yourself. When you're solo queuing, a lot of the time it's focused on yourself. Nice shot, by the way. But yeah, so this is where it's kind of like, you know, nobody throws that eye for close, right? Like, because, you know, typically a Sova will throw a dart on the right wall. And then, like, without a Sova, right, you kind of have to keep in mind, okay, what are we doing?
I didn't even know you could throw it there, to be honest. Like, I didn't even think that, like, would hit anything.
Yeah, so something you can start doing with your utility, if you struggle with it, is what I like to call the 20-20 rule. It's something that's really cringe, but it's all you do is you go and you find 20 different ways to use one piece of utility on that map. Like, and think about it. So it seems like a lot of work, but when you think about it, it's like, okay, I've now presented my brain with 20 different ways, and those 20 so think about the 20 different ways is that will open up your brain to also new ideas of how you could use that utility, right? So for example, let's say you find an eye that you throw, like, okay, so there's an eye that you can throw that's up here for post plant. I don't know if you know it, but there's an eye you can throw up here at B site and post plant. Now all of a sudden you realize that throwing your eye on high ground is kind of OP. So then all of a sudden you just start throwing your eye in more general higher locations, just makes your utility better, right? So that's kind of what I mean. It's like once you find one thing that kind of seems good, you'll start to see what else could also be good. Does that make sense? It's like you'll see it more often in more situations that makes throwing utility in good ways. So it's really just about putting in that kind of work that some people just don't think about, because some of this stuff comes naturally to a lot of people. Like really good players, this sort of stuff comes naturally, right? And there's nothing you can really do about that, because if it doesn't come naturally to you, it's whatever. You know, I just made it. No, you're fine. Tether, not the most important. Okay, I'll also talk about this because you said, have we gone A both times? And then you guys switched to B on your buy round. Do you know you can't? So the way the game works, especially if you're talking scrims, there's something I like to call 10-2. Okay, the first 2 rounds are not related to the last 10 rounds at all. You cannot use these as a form of conditioning. Do you know why?
Because you don't actually have full guns and you're kind of at a disadvantage or advantage.
Yeah, so you're lacking utility, right? I can't fucking whatever here. Boom. There you go. So you're lacking utility, right? Combined with that, you don't have firepower, right? Because you can't take the longer range fights that normally you could, because you just don't have a Vandal or a Guardian, or you know, whatever it may be. So you're lacking utility and you don't have firepower. So with these 2 things like in mind, right, it's kind of like, okay, well now I realize that I can't treat the rounds the same. So it's like switching your sites because you went to the same site the first 2 rounds doesn't really make any sense, and it doesn't really provide you any benefit. So it's just something to think about as like a whole. I'm trying not necessarily to coach you specifically what you're doing wrong, but your understanding of the game and how you view it. That's kind of what I'm trying to get you to change, because I think that'll provide the most benefit to you. Now, yes, I could just critique everything you're doing, like that eye was terrible.
My eyes this game. No, you'll.
But like,
yeah, you hear me complain like a lot. I was playing absolutely terrible this game, but I figured this would be a better game than like the wipeout games that I had.
So let me ask you, right? You guys have killed one. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to like your teammates' positioning. Could somebody be mid side or top side here?
Well, the Jet's mid, so no, probably not.
Well,
Someone
is Jet mid or is Jet in tube?
Jet's like in kitchen.
In kitchen. So somebody could be right here. Somebody could be right here, right? These are 2 possible locations. When your teammate is planning, let me ask you, what value does your dog bring while your teammate's planning?
I was just trying to like clear the space so that like.
I know, but I'm trying to ask you, do you think this dog is good? Let me ask you like that.
No.
No.
No,
okay.
Probably not.
Because I understand what you're trying to do with the dog, but I want to ask you, why do you think this dog is bad?
I just think like if someone was gonna swing, if he's planning, like he would have been dead. Already.
Yeah. So as soon as this guy's planning, if somebody's close, right, and he swings you guys, you both die now. Right? It's just kind of something of like, this is what I mean by understanding what your utility is used for, right? Your utility is used on fade to clear angles, right? So basically your utility is used to force people off angles. Here, let me this fade dog, force people off angles, clear map space, right? Clear / take map space, spades. I don't know what that means. Clear / take map space, and then you can also use it to fight with it, or you can fight with your dog. That's like kind of the instance where you like flicked your dog, right? So for example, when you flicked your dog over here, the only reason why you like let go of your dog is if you want to peek with your dog, like you individually want to. That's the only real reason you should let go of your dog, because if you're using it for your team, then it shouldn't matter. So an example of this would be, let's go to Haven. Let's go to Haven here. Right? And let's say you're playing backside A. Like, let's say you got forced into backside A. You started up here, you got forced into it, right? And now you're just in like this really weird, uncomfortable position. So what you do is you just like flick your dog downwards, right? And as you flick your dog downwards, you let go of it like right here. It latches onto somebody and then you peek with it, right? That's like the whole point of it. You have the intention of swinging with this dog, if that makes sense. Okay. Mozam Barbecue. What a name. Then you just kind of staying here is fine. I don't mind it too much. I mean, your team's kind of doing a little bit of trolling, but you're staying here. At this point, you might as well not even be like holding, because you could peek top site, you could peek bottom site. Yeah. There you go. Go back into a more passive position. Your crosshair should be right here, right? Your crosshair, okay, so this is something that a lot of people don't really do with their crosshairs. Like when you reposition yourself, right now I can tell what you're doing is you're thinking about where the person is, right? You're like, fuck, where is this person? But you have to start getting used to putting your crosshair like here, right? Just in an active position, right? Now, I know it's not possible because your omen's here, but I'm saying this because I know we're going to see this problem later on in the VOD, right? Where it's like your crosshair is just like in fucking Narnia, and that's not good, right? We don't need it to be in Narnia. You know, that doesn't really help. Oh, my back hurts so bad. Motherfucker, dude. I'm going to fucking lose my shit.
Flash.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna laugh at this eye the entire game. I hope you know
Yeah.
that.
It's all good. It's all good. Usually when I see it once, I'm like, whatever. No need to mention it again. So it's like here, it's like with your dogs, like you have to think, okay, what is your intention when you're using your dogs, right? So we now know, right? Because I listed off a couple of things that make your dogs good versus bad, right? So when you look at this, right? What was your dog used for? There.
Well, I was trying to clear that close angle, but like Jeb pushed up, so now that's like useless.
Well, I mean, you're trying to clear what, barrels? Like right there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did your job with clearing barrels, right? But you need to start thinking of like pathing and like what we can actually clear, right? So for example, right, let's say you're starting here, right? You have to understand if you're dogging from here, what can this dog actually clear, right? It can clear close left, close right, and down short, right? That's all it can clear. Trying to go for short won't work because the dog won't go up there. So you might as well understand that, okay, I can clear that. So if you're right here, right, for example, if you throw your dog really fast, right, you can clear both left and right. You can go up short, and then you can all the way clear to graffiti, right? So this is a different example where you have to understand. So let's go back to Icebox here. Okay, let's say you're standing here, right? What can my dog clear? Well, my dog can clear barrels. What the fuck? My dog can clear barrels. Okay, what else can it clear? It can probably clear behind Gen, right? It can probably even wiggle towards 410 as well, like we can wiggle at 410 and then clear Gen. And now all of a sudden, instead of just clearing barrels, right, you're clearing 3 different angles that now your team doesn't have to worry about, right? And then your second dog, well, do we even need to use our second dog is a question, right?
Not
It's
in
like,
that position.
probably
right there,
not,
for
but
sure.
also like you could trail it up and you could go like this. So that way, because a lot of people will default back into this kind of corner. So it's something you could do, right? There's a bunch of different options. You could like go close, you could just fight with them, then you could save your dog for post plant, right? It really just depends on the situation. Like let's say this dog catches somebody right here and you didn't get a clear Gen, so you want to go clear Gen, so you throw another dog to then make sure Gen and then maybe behind the boxes because you'll be like a little bit more pushed up or something. I don't know, right? The point is like obviously you'll have to adapt to the situation, but understanding what the point of your dog is outside of just your first initial thought is going to be important, right? You have to start thinking farther ahead. Tether's fine. I don't mind it.
He's stuck right there.
Who there? One more.
Roman's fighting. Stop being a bitch. Wait, go back and fight with him. Wait, yeah, bro. Wait, what are you scared of? Just go swing this kid. This guy's stuck backside. Just go fight him. Kill him. All right, the guy can do nothing to you.
What? Call flank?
Call flank? I mean, like, yeah, like he could call flank. But, like, I'm not saying that he shouldn't, but also it's like you can hear the gunshots behind you. Like they're definitively behind you.
I will.
and obviously Chamber's doing a little bit of trolling and this guy shouldn't be able to be here. But you don't know whatever the timing is, right? Also Whiffy is like whatever, but
One more.
this is
I
okay.
definitely baited that
One
home.
more.
Yeah, so this Omen's like literally fighting back sight, gets shot. But if you would have just like swung wide, even if you die while swinging wide, the Omen will then see you swinging wide and be like, oh, okay, my turn. And then he'll peek, right? So you guys will be essentially going for a trade. But yeah. Wait, he doesn't just molly the bomb?
I win that round.
Okay, you win. Well, okay, you guys win.
No, sorry.
Let's hear what you say while watching your KO.
Oh god. What is our KO doing? He's lurking. That's why I'm like.
I don't disagree. KO working is typically not the best, but let's see. All right, yeah, well, that guy's trolling. But like, still, right? Even then, who cares? Just be like, just watch him and be like, all right. Like, just like the biggest thing is the second you start judging other people, because like when you watch back, right, and you watch this back, and I want you to think about this for a second, right? And I want you to watch this back, okay? And I want you to listen to like your thought process the second you die, okay?
Who there? One more.
What? Call
Chamber?
flank? What is our KO doing?
Right? So
yeah, this is what I'm talking about, the mold.
like, yeah, it's you're molding, but also you have to remember that your initial reaction is not what could I have done in that situation to perform it better, but instead your reaction is who can I blame to make myself feel better. And that's like a hard thing to like swallow in all reality, because it's like, fuck, like, am I really that person? But like, that's just like the fact of the matter, and like you've always limited it, like you mauled a lot, so it's like, okay, well, shit. It's like I am a problem, right? And that's just something you kind of have to accept, right? And then here's the thing about duo queuing with people, and this is why I tell everyone if they really want to make progress solo queue. Here's the issue, right? Your jet or boyfriend is reinforcing your ideas of people being mistakes, because they are making mistakes. I don't disagree with that. But how does that help you as a player, right? And yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be on some copium shit every now and then, right? Fuck it. We blame our teammates here and there, right? It's going to happen, right? Because if you always put the pressure on yourself, what's going to happen is you will have negative confidence, right? You will always shit on yourself. You always make yourself feel bad. And that's not good, right? So sometimes, you know, telling your chamber he's a dipshit, it's okay, right? But like doing it all the time, or like majority of the time, is just not good, right? If you want to do it here and there, maybe once every 10, maybe once every 15 games, go for it, right? But yeah, always have the idea of how could I have played the round better, rather than who can I blame to make myself feel better. God, what an eye. That was legendary right there.
This, yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about spamming smokes, right? When you're spamming, especially like a Viper smoke, you're like dumping your whole clip like right away. Like you're just like shooting the same spot with like 100 different bullets. When you're spamming the smoke in this context, in the sense of I want to see if I can just kill her through the Viper ult on accident, right? You should just be bursting in groups of like 3 to 2 at where you think headshot level is throughout the smoke. Right? So like very common position. So like think about in the head of the Viper, where does Viper want to play? She wants to play top side. Maybe she wants to play up here. Maybe she wants to play down here. Maybe she wants to play barrels. Maybe she wants to play gen, right? A lot of people will naturally put themselves in a position where there's cover, right? A place where they can escape, because if she's sitting right in the middle, like right here, it's kind of weird. But yeah, even then, if you notice, right, if you were like here and spamming to gen line or whatever, if I could draw a straight line, if you're here spamming to like gen, right, then like you'll accidentally hit this person, right? So another example is like you could spam, oh, whoops, my bad, it's fucking weird. Another example is you could spam like right here, right? That's another example. So once you start seeing all these spots, that's just a more effective way to spam, is like actually, instead of just shooting your bullets randomly like you're kind of doing, predict where you think the enemy could be, and if you were the Viper, where would you be, right? Does that make sense?
Don't ask me what I'm doing this round. It's so bad. Like
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Also, at the point when you see the Viper ult, I would just fucking leave. Right? Like, what's the enemy team's economy like? Do we check ever?
Like our chamber is here.
Yeah. Shut up, boyfriend. All right, we don't check, but every round you should check their economy, right? Because I hear a Marshall and there's a Viper ult with a Judge, right? So I'm guessing they're broke. If they're broke, the second you see the Viper ult, there's 2 possibilities, right? So the Viper ult a lot of time means that you're stacked in a situation where it's like 1 to 2 here, maybe 1 mid, and then 2 towards B. But I'd rather take the 2B with my dogs in my eye than I would the 2 at the Viper ult. And like maybe you can even argue that it's like 1-3, but I would still argue that as long as you use your utility properly, that you'll be fine, right? To take this. Now obviously it's more scary, but at the same time, walking through a Viper ult that has a judge is not my forte, right? I'm not doing it. So
You should get like.
see, that's what I mean, is like you don't control your dog in that situation when you actually need to, right? You need to control your dog in that situation. Like you still have 40 seconds, right? You don't need to be fucking full sprinting, right? So many people underestimate how much time is actually left, right? So the game is broken down into 3 phases, right? At like a scrim level, there's 140, right? There's 1 minute, and there's 20 seconds. Do you know what these intervals are?
No clue.
Think about
Maybe the 20 seconds. Like,
think
means
about
you gotta go. Like,
I mean, it means you gotta go, but think about your fade utility for a second. What happens at these time intervals?
I'm assuming like 140 would be like I to get info, and like get initial info, and then like 1 minute would be like when you're gonna execute a site or like try to begin executing.
Okay, so these intervals work in this way. The reason, okay, it's called phase 1, so P1, P2, P3, right? Some people phase it differently, and some people also do it in intervals of 20. So like 120, some people have 6 phases, right? Depending on like who you're talking to, right? Okay, so the point of those timestamps is when your haunt comes back up, when your Sova Dart comes back up, when your breach stun comes back up. This is what is called the rechargeable timer, right? Like like it's not even called rechargeable timer, it's just like that's the rechargeable timer, right? Of like omen smokes, you know, you have double omen smokes back, KO knife is back, right? These are how the timers work, right? So when you're looking at it, right, and you're like, oh shit, at 1 minute my shit comes back, right? So it's kind of like that thing where I was talking about how defaulting on Icebox works, right? You walk up to here, you take this space, you wait for, you literally hold this line, you don't move, you wait till your chargeable comes back, throw your chargeable again, then you take this space, right? That's how the map works, right? Now, you're not gonna be able to do that in rank, so a lot of ranks just gonna be pugging, right? You can't force your teammates to play in that way, even if you understand how to play in that way, because then you'd have to like have a PowerPoint ready to explain it to them, and that's just not gonna work, right? Here you shouldn't even be fighting this back, right? So something you have to understand is like, okay, you're low HP. What are we trying to do? Okay, this guy's playing it safe. He's fucking trolling. He should be playing in here. He's playing it safe, right? What are we doing in this moment? Like, what are we trying to do? Okay, trips hit, right? Trips hit. Okay, so if trips hit, we know. What do we know? The second this trip gets contacted, there's one flank, and then we hear this jet here, right? We hear her here. What do you think our play should be as 3?
Probably take the fight on the jet first.
Yeah, just kill the jet. Fuck it. Like this guy is all the way back here. We're fine, right? You just push the jet. Essentially, it's the same thing as getting pincered. Like imagine you're in a war, right? And you're like fucking here and you're in a war and there's people here and people here. You have 2 options, right? You can go through or you can go back, right? That's the only way to break a pinch, right? Is to push through. Because if you wait long enough and this jet becomes here, then this guy is going to get an even fight onto somebody, right? He's going to get an even fight. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen. So yeah, I would literally just call him like, hey, let's fight this jet. Like somebody come with me, right? Chamber, come with me, fight the jet. Why do you have 5 bullets?
From fucking spamming through the smoke.
Alright, no good judges, kid. Oh, unlucky, right? So they come back, right? And this is what I mean by like, so look at how long of time, right? This guy hits a trip. No, it's wait. Right?
And then
5, 10, 15. So you wait 15 seconds before you make this play. So it's too late by that time, right? And that's why this game is like, it's all split second decisions. And like, if you wanted to push this guy, you had to do it later or like earlier. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Headset?
I don't even know if that's like, I don't even know what's happening anymore, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, they're just trolling. But remember, your first instinct.
It was like hard to watch. I don't know what's happening.
So like your instincts is to flame these guys rather than why did I fucking push them with a judge without calling to any of my teammates? Right? You see how it's like you didn't even think about how you could have played the situation better, right? And that's what makes it really hard. You know what's funny though?
Like,
I will say this. For some reason, it's always right? When I coach a lot of guys and a lot of girls, right? The second girls get to like, I don't know what it is. It's like that D1 to Ascendant 3 range where like this starts happening with girls, and for guys, it's the Ascendant 2 to Immortal 3 range when this starts happening. Where like people stop looking, because when I first coached you, right, your first instinct used to never be let's flame somebody, right? Your first instinct always was, wow, I suck at this game, right? That was always your first instinct. But now it's like shifted into like, wow, my entire team sucks at the game, right? It's like, yeah, all 5 of you, including your boyfriend, fucking suck. Like, yes, this is true. It's like, okay, let's fix this mindset. This is like the most important thing to fix, because until you fix this, it's going to be really hard. Mechanically, I will say you're probably like slightly behind on average comparative. There's a lot of ways you can like fix your mechanics.
It's low, stupid.
And I don't really focus too much on mechanics, but I know everyone's everyone's like, I hate aim training. And the best way to
No, that's like what's holding me back, like for
But,
a lot
like,
of like gunfights
here's the
and
thing, let's
stuff.
be honest. Aim training is lame, right? We hate aim training. So like what you can do, and this is something that I found to be really effective, is put yourself in what I like to call worst case scenarios and play that way. Not in the game, worst case, but what I mean is like use Overwatch and just pick soldier. That's what I've been telling people to do recently, and it's helped me a lot, because what happens is you put yourself in a situation, like have a pretty similar sense. It doesn't need to be exact, right? But have a pretty similar sense in Overwatch, like almost similar, and then just go play Overwatch for like 2 hours a day. Like just go have fun, right? And only pick soldier, and all you're focusing on is shooting people like past tanks and like prioritizing like the lower targets and like focusing on your positioning and like shooting people, because all you're doing is tracking people, and you'll notice your aim will get better. It'll be weird, right? You still need to play some death matches and stuff, but it's just something you could do, right, if you wanted to. But if that's what you feel like your aim's really bad, that's like, you know, in reality, it's like how it works.
Probably could have kept the 6 bullets and gotten 2.
I mean, yeah. If you really think you're gonna 3-bullet 2 different people, like I don't think picking up the judge was really the mistake. But the eye is not getting anyone. I agree. And the reason that that's an issue is because you don't know where you're throwing your eye with the intention of clearing what things, right? If you know what your eye clears, it not getting anyone is a good thing sometimes. You know why?
Why? Because that means like sights.
Because you know what you're clearing, right? So it's like if you throw your eye here and you know your eye clears here, 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 and here, right? And you know that it clears this, and you have a dog that then clears this, right? If your dog and I get nobody, what does that tell you? Sight's clear. It also clears up top, right? All of a sudden, boom, you're just like, oh, cool, we can just walk onto site, right? It's kind of one of those things. It's like if you were to throw, oh, jeez, you got shit on. If you were to throw a KO knife, like here, right?
Not holding it.
Oh god, there's the instant complaint about teammates. Like if you throw a KO knife here and it hits nobody, right? Then all of a sudden you know automatically that this entire site is yours, right? But yeah, let's go back, and I'm gonna make you listen to yourself, right?
Oh god.
Because it's painful, right? When you actually think about it, it's like you shouldn't even be mad here. This guy hit a nice shot on you. He swung. Your KO's holding with you, right? And also you're the person behind him. Right, you are behind him, so your objective as he scales up and clears things is to hold this spot for him. So this is your job, right? And you do your job like you're trying to, and you just end up dying, right? And the KO gets the insta trade. In no world ever should you be mad here, like ever, because what was supposed to happen happened. Like frame for frame, what's supposed to happen happens here. Like if you die, my KO is there to trade me, and that's what the point is.
What is our KO doing? He's not holding anything, I swear to God.
I promise you Ginobili is doing just fine in that instance. I don't know Ginobili. I'm not a big Ginobili fan, but I know in that instance he is in the right. And this is why I'm making you listen to yourself, because like you're not even reflecting of like why did this happen?
I'm just
Yeah, you're just maulding.
lurking.
So.
I swear to God.
It's been lurking.
Nice job.
Nice job. The difference between when you in private and public. Nice job. I always love that. God, this guy's such a fucking dipshit. Yeah, that was a good round, man. Keep it up. I do that shit all the time. So here we have Fade Ult. This is where we should start thinking of what I like to call win conditions, right? We probably had this for a while. Actually, no. Did we have this last round? Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. So we got our Fade Ult, right? So the second we get our Fade Ult, our mindset should change on attack of what can I do to win my team the round using this ability, right? So it's like, what can I do? Okay, so we have Fade here. We've got our ultimate, right? Oh, wait, we're not on Haven. We got Fade here. We have our ultimate, right? On Icebox, it's super easy to just fucking rip my ult from like here and just clear the entire site. Right? Or wherever the fuck you rip your ult from. I don't know. You can do it from right side nest, maybe? I don't know. This ult, like, hopefully would cover the majority of things. But yeah, just get it so it hits the majority of back site and you'll be fine. Like this. This is fine, right? This is okay, right? If it doesn't hit here and there's somebody playing there, well, unlucky.
Oh wait, have somebody else buy that.
But yeah. Oh, my back, dude. I'm like a fucking old grandpa, dude. Holy fuck.
That's funny.
Okay. So you throw eye up, it gets shot. So you end up dogging, right? You clear close, you rip your ult, that's good. Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro,
I know.
Do you know how your terror trails form?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, how do they form?
Like, what do you...
Like your terror trails, right? Because I know you threw this dog because you thought it was going to latch onto a terror trail, right?
I thought it was going to be closer, to be honest with you. But I should have, like, continued further.
Do you know how... That's why I'm asking you if you know how terror trails form. Because it's really important to understand that. So that way this doesn't happen anymore.
No. I guess
They
not.
come from the spot of which you were standing. So you were standing right here. So your terror trails start here. And then they go in a direct line to wherever that person is. Right? So like your ult, right? So let's say it hits somebody here and you were standing here, it goes from here to here. So you notice throwing your dog here isn't going to intercept that line, right? It's the same concept. That's how it works, right? And if it can go over things, it'll go over things. That's just where you have to learn the terrain of the map, right? So for example, on Haven, let's say you fucking throw your ult from here, or not here. Let's say you throw it from here to site, right? The terror trail, if you've ever done this, you'll notice it goes like this, right? The reason why it goes like this is because it can't go over a fucking roof, right? Nobody can go over a roof. But the second it can go over terrain that somebody could get on, that's when the terror trail will go over. So for example, let's say you throw your your ult from backside B, right? Then it will go over the top of B because somebody could get on the top of B, right? That's like how it works. I'm pretty sure. No, don't like quote me on that, but like I also play Fade every day, so like that's what I've noticed. Right? That's just like personal example. Yes, I play Fade every day, so that's just something I've noticed. But yeah, because this dog, it does eventually latch onto somebody, which is great, right? But it definitely could have had a lot more impact and been a lot more threatening, right? But anyways, good job using your ult the second you got it. Good job. Proud of you, right?
His toes.
His toes.
Sick. In the head, here to here. Like my last night.
Nice. Literally do the same eye this entire game.
What the?
Except that.
Wait.
There was one playing Nest one time.
Okay. This is about understanding the map, CuDee. All right. So when you look at this, right, you could just jump right here and you will clear all of Nest.
Yes, no. Okay, I know that, but like I've been one tap doing that. Like I'm like scared. Like I've been playing so scared.
Just because somebody hits a 1 in 100 shot does not mean that you should stop doing it.
Okay.
Like that's just not how it works, right? It's like, yeah, you've been one tapped there, cool, but like, let me put it like this. It's like, if you go to a restaurant that you've gone to 100 times, right? And 99 times in a row, it has been a good restaurant. And then one time you go there and you have shitty service, right? Maybe that person's having a bad day. Your server's having a bad day because they're human or whatever, or something's going wrong. You're not going to chalk it up and say, I should never go to that restaurant. I mean, maybe you will, but if you do, you're fucking trolling, right? But you go, you have bad service, right? Oh, well, you had bad service one time. That should be your 99, but like, this is, I can't remember what it's called. It's like negative permanence or something. I don't fucking know. There's like some like ideology and why your brain does this. You remember this one time more than you remember this 99 times, and you got to snap your brain out of that habit. Because just because you die on a situation doesn't make the play bad. And you shouldn't be scared of it. So for example, right, I have died infinite times playing A Long Haven, but that doesn't make the position a bad position. Right? That's just like something you have to understand, because if you start thinking, oh, I got one tapped one time, there's going to be a lot of things that you stop doing that are actually really good, right? Because there's going to be times where it's like there's 70-30 situations, but you lost in that 30 situation instead of winning like you should most of the time, and then you're going to chalk it up as it being bad. But that's not the case, right? Because if you had to take in a fight 100 times, right, the 70 is obviously going to be better than the 30, right? So for example, right, on bind, a lot of people for some fucking reason will go and take like this fight, right, from showers. As a defender, they'll peek out and they'll take this fight, right? It doesn't make any sense to take this fight, right? Because in reality, you're peeking into somebody's crosshair and you're risking map control, right? So for this instance, you're taking like a 40-60, but because it's a 40-60, so many people recognize that they win this fight a lot, especially if they're mechanically better than the other players, that they'll just be like, well, I win the fight a lot, without thinking about the risk versus reward, right? So it's the same thing in Icebox. The reason why I brought up the bind example, risk versus reward. You are jumping here to clear something with a 99% chance of survival, right? It's like, okay, it's like, you know, you really shouldn't, you know, you do a little bit of trolling is the way we'll put it. Okay. And obviously, right now, right, you have this VOD to go back to. That's why I'm not really concerned. You'll be able to go back and watch this.
I'm like writing stuff down too.
Yeah,
like,
you can write a lot of things down, because like I've stopped writing massive pages for people, because like in reality, like right now, all I see is like the things that I want you to focus on is like understand like why we're using our utility, and then like fix our mental, right? Those are the two major things, and like our mechanics are weak, right? So it's like those are the three things that is whatever, and then also like within our mental, like our decision making is like super hesitant or just slow, not sure which one, but a little bit of both.
It's hesitant. It's like I don't know. I feel like ever since like I hit like diamond, I've been like scared.
Yeah, you can't be scared, because like that's just gonna put you at a disadvantage, right? You have something that you want to do, make the decision, right? So for example here, right, you throw this dog, right? You're like, fuck it, I'm throwing this dog. But in reality, this dog's dog shit, right? Like, actually, this is really bad. There's no purpose in throwing this dog. There's no value in it, okay? So it's like, you know that, but at the same time, right, you didn't hesitate to make this decision. You just did it, right? Yeah. So it's like, this is an instance where it's like, oh, I didn't hesitate to make a decision, but because I made that decision, I now understand that this dog is bad in this situation. But why is this dog bad in this situation? Now you have to ask yourself, okay? It's like, well, I could use it to fight with me, right? That's like something I could save it for. I'm not getting any extra information, right? Because if they were there, they would tap the bomb anyway, right? So it's one of those things. But also here, it's 2v4. Look for a duel. Just start fucking peeking kids, bro. Like, swing out. Like, look for a fight. Yeah, this is fine. There you go. Okay. It hits all three. Tether it. Yep. Unlucky.
Oh, they stuck.
Oh, the bomb was planted way over there. What the fuck? I actually did not know that. Alright. I can't see it because of this little fucking thingamabob, but yeah. Understanding where the bomb is planted, very important. It's that way your utility is not fucked. I will say that much.
They only tap. It's not like they tapped or anything. They just stuck.
Is there?
S tier dog. I do that shit all the time. Don't worry about it. Also, for example, right? Why throw your dog right at barrier? Right? So look where you throw it. You throw it right here. Don't you think that getting this extra couple inches could be helpful? Like either going to here or here? For sure. 3 inches is a lot of fucking inches. That's all I'm saying here. Right? So it's like, It's like, you know, they can make the difference between your dog clearing something and not. What a fucking eye. What a dog. We're doing so good right now. Not only that, but our KO throws a knife here, so we don't even need to throw this eye. That's what makes it even better. We make ourselves look like a fool, and we fucking throw it in a bad spot. Like,
when I'm telling you I picked a bad game, like, you think I'm lying. I was not.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. All good. All good. Wow. Wow. Everyone's utility is so perfect right now. I have zero complaints.
W execute.
W. God, if there's a
don't
fucking...
ask me. No, don't ask me.
Hey, I want...
No. Wait, you'll recognize... No, you'll hear me. Be like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like...
I mean, it's some nice architecture, I'm not gonna lie, but you don't really need to be here.
There's like a moment where I like realize I'm like, wait, what?
W, and now you have I. He's not on the bomb. Okay, well, you're fucking trolling, right? But, because, like, you have I, you have fucking tether, right? So you can do one of two things on bomb tap. You could fucking tether the guy, right? And then, right, you could also spike your I on tap. So it's like, first tap, you could spike I. Second tap, you could tether, right? And then all of a sudden, this guy's just, like, fucked. There's no way he's winning. But, he was at 105. Good job, honey. Sorry, I had to make fun of it.
Oh my god.
Sorry, my girlfriend calls me meow meow, so it's fine.
That's so funny, actually.
Yeah.
And because I got blocked again.
I'm like molding. I'm playing bad this game. Like this one was. This is not good. This game.
Viper's still default.
So, we have doggies. Also, I don't know if you fucked up your dog so you got blocked. I mean, maybe, but also at the same time, right? What is? We ask you. I'm gonna make you think about
What
this.
is the dog?
Like,
why am I doing it there?
You're dogging from here to like what? Clear this? Like, is that what you're worried of? But like,
that was the plan. But
like, you know, you could just like throw your eye here, and that would do that if you really wanted to. And then the eyes are rechargeable versus this is a 1x, right? You only get one time use out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And because I got blocked again.
By me?
Yeah. All good.
And then like you're just like throwing shit to throw shit. like that is literally what you're doing. You're like, yup, dude, my dog, it's going somewhere. I don't know what I'm actually trying to clear, but it's going somewhere.
No, I heard someone shooting there, so like my logic was like I could like dog in and like fight with the dog, but then I like missed.
In reality, you should just use your second dog. Like if you're gonna fight into this, you should just use your second dog to find the Viper. I mean, look, you can tell where the Viper went, right? Super easily, okay? Where does the ult expand from? Center sight. Okay, cool. That means the Viper has to be to the left or back side right now, right? And she's to the left, right? So it's like here, just pull out your dog and just like guide it until you eat her ass, and then you call it a day, right?
Yeah.
I heard her.
That was top screens, I think. On screens, I think. Yep, screens.
Oh, I'm getting blocked.
I'm not. I'm just molding. I'm just molding at what I'm doing because I know I'm playing bad, and
So
I'm like
copium
blaming it
kicks
on
in.
other people. Yeah, like.
It's all good.
Oh, I'm getting blocked.
I mean, like, yeah, I too like to jump in the middle of the open before I really clear my angles. I think it's the best strategy. But yeah, I mean, you just gotta take your time, right? You're trying to scale up like too quickly. You're like, oh shit, let's fucking go, right? It's like, you can even look at the way you're doing this, right? You're going first, just like fade, and you're just kind of trolling, right? It's like you're going first while having your utility out as fade, right? like everyone asks me how I win going like double, like not even like double negative, but like I'm always like 10th on the board, but I have like a 55 or 56% win rate. It's like you just gotta use your utility in a smart manner and you'll be okay.
He swung you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the guy was like 2 feet away from you.
By the way, Audrey, I don't know this fucking fuck, dude. I was readjusting my seat. My back starts. I'm an old man, dude. Fucking A. Wait, this guy just stuck it. What a fucking giga chad, bro.
Hey, back.
We have an op? What the fuck?
His last round, screwed. I was trolling.
I can respect it. The opping fade. You know what's funny enough? It's like playing Sova and opping on like Breeze is actually really good. So it's like I can respect it. You know, maybe you're just like a secret opper. Use your ult because you have it.
I do op crutch. Like I play chamber and jet, like a lot of the time in op crutch.
I like
and
it.
Reyna, but
So
I just like I know I'm like good with chamber and stuff, but like I know like my fade is bad, which is why I like.
So when you're opping, you need to stop doing this jiggle. Notice, okay? This little wiggle thing, you're trolling when you do this. Just hold the angle. Just stand still and stare. If you need to, crouch, right? Like if you need to, in order to stay focused, like crouch on crouch. But don't like move left and right because you're constantly making yourself inaccurate. And if somebody peeks you, well, it's just gonna be bad. A lot of times. It's gonna make you, there you go, right? You wiggle, watch. Okay, we'll put it in slow motion just so you can see.
Oh god, no! I saw it perfectly clear. Wearing my glasses and everything.
Yeah, it's like this guy gets a kill. You're moving, your crosshair is right on him, and you don't stop in time, and you miss. Yeah. So now imagine if you were just holding, right? You would have got this kill, right? So many people don't understand with an op that like this isn't Counter-Strike. Wow. You can't do this little wiggle shit, right? In CS, you can do that. In this game, you can't.
40 kills.
40 kills? What does that even mean?
That's annoying. I don't know what he's talking about.
You're better, and the headshot. You're crazy.
Good job.
No, I don't think anyone called it though.
Who cares if
I wasn't.
Who cares if somebody calls it?
So bad.
HP. Shorty kills.
Oh, shorty
kills. You're gonna laugh at all
Actually.
these guys.
255 kills too, most of the time.
Yeah. I don't miss.
I mean, it's not the worst. Could be worse. I mean, at least you have like kind of intention, but like just a better way to do this would just be to like eye here. Not only that, but when you're playing Fade, a lot of times you want to play mid overall. But like then again, not really, because the Fade's weird. Okay, like Fade on Icebox is kind of weird. But yeah, playing mid and like eyeing over and having the eye land here is, or like here is typically better than having an eye at A. Because like it doesn't really matter because you can just rotate in and then you can stall them with dogs and tethers, right? So it's like, let's say you're eyeing mid to get information here, right? Then you could rotate over here after you clear mid and you can just like tether them to stall, right? And then you can be annoying and chuck dogs at them.
KO and Fade both at 30. Default. KO and Fade both at 30. Default.
Okay, sure. Honestly, that's fine. This round was like whatever. That's just like a mechanics thing. Like, you just gotta work on it.
Still get on top of yellow without an.
Not concerned.
Okay.
Also, I will say this though. I would never. I will say this. I would not position myself on Fade here. Not never, but like most of the time, just like don't do it. It's like you like towards Shen because like you're playing in like a one and done position and it's like kind of weak.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
No,
Papi
she's not
chulo.
I think that's like
What?
the like me playing other agents. Like I play like obviously Reyna a lot and Jet and Chamber, so I'm used to like having an out. So sometimes I
sometimes you
forget what
autopilot it.
agents I'm playing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Especially in this game.
for sure.
nice.
Sure.
Jet.
Type that in the chat.
Yeah, my dogs are really bad now that I'm watching this over.
So like this dog, right? Pay attention to where this dog comes from. Where the fuck does this dog come from? Oh, okay, she was mid. I got really confused because I saw the dog like fucking. Bro, I got so confused. I saw the dog come from here. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? She's mid? But then my brain processed it later, even watching back the VOD. What I mean, bro, people are weird.
What?
That guy's crazy. It's all
You pick up a shorty?
good. Gee.
No
I'm kind of
chance.
trolling. I'm kind of trolling.
Yeah, I don't know. This is something else. Yeah, I can't help you with that one. That one's just like good luck with that one.
Yeah.
That one is just silly. I do like this spray though. It's cute.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
that
nice,
Jet's
right?
only pre-firing too. Man's not good enough.
Oh, I thought it.
What in the copium is your boyfriend saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, that Jet swung me pre-firing too. Man's not good enough.
Man's not good. What
Oh,
in
I
the
thought
fucking
it-
copium shit did
There
I
you
just
go.
hear?
Okay, I'm so. Oh, that actually worked out though.
Is he immortal too?
No, he's below me. He's like
Oh.
D1.
You suck.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly then?
He was like hard stuck plat for a little bit.
I said
He used to having like the plat ego, you know?
Ah, now he's a diamond
Yeah.
ego. Understood.
Yeah.
Tell him Odie said to cut that shit out. Ooh, nice
Alright.
shot.
Made it 78. There's 2 mace.
When I
Honestly, all good. This is like whatever 4v2. I mean, like I don't like peeking this angle, but like you shouldn't lose this most of the time. So I mean, it's like whatever, but it's not obviously not the best peek. 4v2, you have numbers, so you should probably just like peek something with somebody. But you know,
It's kind of dookie on B.
Oh, here, I'll show you this. So doing that like F, you can't get up there, but
You're playing Jet though. Like,
that's what I'm saying. When you're on Jet, you can get up here for free.
Who's 2B man?
okay, this is what I mean by developing like a later thought process. Look at what you do. Okay, you throw eye,
Who's 2B?
and now you're just not sure what to do. You don't have a plan, right? It's like, okay, if I scan people, what am I trying to do? Right? That's something you need to start thinking about. Is like, okay, if I do this, then this is my next response. Basically, it's like when you think about team play, I don't know how much you guys as like a team or whatever, when you started scrimming, has really thought about it. I don't know if you have like a set 5 or whatever, but like when you think about it, it's like when X happens, X else has to happen. It's called protocols, right? It's like when this happens, this next needs to happen, right? Why? Because X reasoning, right? So
Yeah, this game is terrible.
You should just play back for your
What?
Omen. Your Omen's flanking, baby. For your
What?
You should just play back for your
What?
Omen. Your Omen's flanking, baby.
I don't disagree.
Told me that sooner.
Yeah, I mean, this is a combination of both,
Not
but
planting.
Viper 50.
I mean,
Omen, your
yeah, you can like play back, but like,
What?
I mean, the fight you take isn't terrible, right? It's like, like yeah, wait for your omen, but at the same time, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you opping? This is a Marshall, right? I can't fucking tell,
You just
Oh, I
can-
bro. I'm fucking. Why does the scope look like that? The scope looks weird.
do you play on stretch res?
Fuck this.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Wait, why does this look so weird?
I
Got me
don't
tripping.
know.
Eh, And T. And T. Honestly, we almost got ours. All good.
Almost.
Almost got ours. All good. Yeah.
Hey, Viper's running.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Already out default.
Jesus.
I shot. 4v2. Now we have to determine, is this winnable? What do we want to do? Right? I'd look for another kill. Don't be scared.
The shit out of me.
So it's like this eye, right? Like you're throwing it. But like, here's the thing, is like, think about how you could throw this eye better, right? If you wanted to, right? You can throw this eye on top of, like up here, on this corner, right? You could throw this eye like top sight. You could throw this eye not here, right? Just like, right? Like, let's look at what other utility we have, right? We have a dog, right? So if we want to clear these close angles, like that's what you're trying to do with your eye, right? Then we have a dog. We can sit right here. They know where we are already, so we might as well dog this and like clear all the close corners, and we'll be good, right? But yeah, I'm still very hesitant. 4v2. I don't care if you're 50 HP. You can look for a fight if you want to. Okay. Do 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 do. Sorry, I got background music playing.
No, it's all good.
You're just panicking. It may not seem like you're panicking, but like when you look at this, it's like you're throwing eye. You're like, oh, what am I doing with this eye? Oh shit, I'm bit. Oh shit, let's just like run away and like switch positions and like just relax. Figure out what you want to do and do it, right? Like if you think this round's winnable, you could fucking pop your ult and turn your Marshall into an op, right? That's like something you can do, right? It's like the reason why Fade with her ult is super strong with the Marshall is because if you pop your Marshall or pop your ult, right, they're minus 75 HP. And minus 75 HP equals one shot to the Marshall. So it's like, if you really want to, just pop your ult and just start running and fucking no-scoping kids, right? It's like, fuck it, dude. This thing shoots at Mach 8 anyway, right? You'll be good.
Can't see anything. Fingers tucked in the CuDee.
What in the copium sentence was that?
See anything.
You can't see anything? Wait, what does that even mean? Are you blurry? Bad vision today?
It's because I ran through the Viper wall and I'm just blaming it on things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, blaming things is like bad because it's like, you know, it's all good.
Going up.
All good. Blaming anything is typically not the best. It's kind of like when people say they I don't know. There's
Not necessarily.
I don't understand why, but I don't mind it either. Because like your Jet's fighting, so you're ulting with your Jet to fight. It allows your teammates to fast flank, right? I don't think that's why you were doing it, but it's good either way.
Kind of doing it to like hold them off for my teammates to rotate in time.
Okay. I mean, that's okay, right? That's fine. I don't mind that, right? You could also, I mean, yeah, that's fine, right? I don't mind that. Now we're just trolling. 4v2. Okay, I was there, right? There's no reason we should be peeking this, right? Just wait for our Omen.
Our Omen. Just throw the round.
Not really. The round should still be fine. There's a second person flanking.
Oh.
Nice job.
God, I can hear your voice get progressively more sad as this game goes on.
Well, it's funny because I went from like having like so many good games. Like if you look at my match history, like I was like having such good games before this, and then this one I just like absolutely played terrible. Like my mind just went out the window.
It's okay.
But I figured that'd be better than like critiquing a game where I'm like popping on, because those games like I'm winning, you know?
I mean,
like,
to me, yeah, to me it doesn't matter too much, but when you're losing, it's like you do show yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like lagging really bad.
I love you. The excuses keep going farther and farther. Like, as long as the blame isn't on yourself, it's okay. Like,
Oh my god.
I love it. As long as you don't blame yourself. It's the maximum copium overdrive coming in here.
I'm like lagging.
For sure.
Okay,
I'm
basically
the
what
best
I'll
player in the
say,
lobby.
what I'll say here is just don't be a bitch, right? If you're gonna peek this, you're taking the fight. Like if you wanted to jiggle for information, then you jiggle for information, right? But you're peeking. If this is not jiggling for information, this is peeking to kill, right? At this point, just
Yeah.
like be convinced you're gonna kill the person. So
Okay.
Yeah, you wanna
yeah, at this point, you're just kind of putting your back against a wall and you're scared. Like
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my game plan is. You keep buying a Marshall, which I mean, I don't mind if that's like your comfort weapon, but
39 Viper main.
oh,
Oh, NT.
unlucky.
Before?
Oh.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
you can hear me molding.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to you mauled all game, honestly, but
Grab this orb.
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. This shit'll happen. Yeah, it's double flank. This is fine.
No.
No. You'd be like, here's the thing: you guys don't calm your team that you're flanking, right? So, like,
Held.
basically every aspect of your like gameplay needs work, right? So it's like, good ult. All right. Unlucky. Honestly, this is like fine, right? Obviously, hindsight, oh, you shouldn't pull out your dog, but like I understand what you're trying to do. You're ulting, so that way you can then pull out your dog afterwards, right? It's like you're preemptively pulling out your dog, and it's just kind of unlucky that this guy is running at you like a fucking blatant psychopath. So then you end up losing the fight. You could have used, actually, never mind. Like there's nothing left you have, right? This is fine. That round actually wasn't that bad.
That's the game we show
That's
him.
the
We had
fucking
some
VOD.
good games. We had some good good games, good VODs.
Yeah. So
You're
It
up.
was 20.
not bad. Not the best game, not the worst game, right? Overall, like when you actually think about it. What do we have to work on, right? We have, let me bring up my notepad here. Notepad, right? So let me go ahead and change screens, right? So I think a big thing, right, is kind of like our thought process, right? Process of like what the heck's going on, I thought, okay, so wait, hold on, let me think about this. Thought process, comms, mental, obviously mechanics. And it's kind of like that meme where it's like, oh, I only need to work on X, like everything. It's kind of like that meme, but like in reality, right? That's where we're at, and then like our utility usage, right? Utility usage. So our thought process, I think I'm only going to kind of give you one thing to kind of come up with. Obviously, we talked about a lot of things in each situation, right? But it's come up with a plan. Come up with a plan that is more than just right in front of you. So, for example, right? If X happens, I will do Y, right? And if Z happens, I will do A, right? It's like, that's kind of the thought process you want to have. Comms, you just need to talk more, right? In reality, right? You don't really calm much. So talk more, and what I kind of mean by talk more is like, if you're on a flank, right? If you're on a flank, tell your team, right? If you plan on ulting, right? If you plan on ulting, tell your team, right? And then if the enemy cuts noise, tell your team, right? It's kind of like all these things kind of factored into one, right? whatever you want to do, slash what has happened around you is what you should be calming. Mental, right? Stop blaming your teammates, and then start self-reflecting when you die of how you could have played the situation better, and was the fight slash situation worth doing, right? If that makes sense, right? Mechanics, right? Just overall, like everything, kind of crosshair placement, right? Placement, movement, right? It's like just generally everything, truthfully. Just kind of all needs to be a little bit better, like your crosshair placement, your movement, your gun control, right? Those sort of things. And like also the fights you take, right? Be more confident in that regard, right? A lot of times when you go and taking a fight, you're taking the fight scared, like what if I lose, instead of thinking, okay, if I win, then I do what, right? Start going into fights like, I think I'm gonna win, so we should do X, right? Utility usage, right? Start understanding why you're throwing things and what they're doing. So for example, it's like, I have this dog, I want to clear X angles, right? Or B, I have this I want it to clear Y angles, right? It's like, C, I have my ult, it will clear things for me, right? So the thing also with your ult is pay attention to where your ult is on the map, because it'll tell you almost exactly where the enemy is depending on when it pings, right? Because as it's going across, it waits to ping, and there's something you don't do is like, as you're ulting, you can tell where people are based off of the pings. Does that make sense?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, for example, right? Let's go and watch back your ult, right? So here, right? Pay attention, right? When you use your ult, ping, that's where he is.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay.
Ping, that's where he is, right? So that's how it kind of works. Other than that, yeah, I think that's basically the general rules that you have to follow. Obviously, we talked about a lot more than just this, right? But those are, the general summed up ways of things that you kind of need to improve on. Now, for like what obviously is a quote unquote training plan, right? It really just depends on your time frame, right? So like say mechanics, like you really want to focus on your mechanics. So there's a bunch of different ways you can kind of do this. Overwatch has been my favorite way to help people improve your mechanics, and you'll see what I mean. Overwatch, what I like to call the Soldier 76 method, where you literally just insta-lock Soldier 76, you play DPS, you insta-lock Soldier 76, and that's all you play. You'll start noticing how hard that game actually fucking is. I don't know if you've ever played Overwatch 2. It's kind of a cringe game to play because like it's annoying sometimes, but like this will help your raw aim a lot, like your overall like ability to move your mouse control, right? That'll help you a lot. So this Overwatch Silver, like that helps with that, right? Your movement, your crosshair placements, right? Right? DMs, just play 3 to 5 DMs, or honestly play like 3 to 6 DMs, 6 DMs per day, right? Per day, focused on movement / crosshair placement, right? And then your movement, right? It's kind of the same concept. Like this is how you work on your crosshair placement, your movement. I think something that really helps with the movement is like just a general, like, I mean, I know I've sent this to you before, but like honestly, the warm-up routine is usually what I tell people to do to help with your movement, because it does overall help with your movement a lot. But yeah, so this is kind of like that. And then like as for time that you have available, I'm not sure how much time you have available to play the game every day, but it really just depends, right? 1 2 hours, right? It really just depends, because like on what you want to focus on, especially since I know you're trying to be like a content creator. Some like having better mechanics really does help you, right? Because it makes your clips look cooler and it makes things whatever, but it really just depends on what direction you want to go. As for like ranking up, right? And like let's say you want to get better, right? VOD reviewing is obviously helpful. VOD reviewing, you can do this once per day max, right? Per day max. I think the best way to VOD review is kind of like watch pros play and do the 20 rule, right? And we'll find 20 different ways to use one piece of utility, right? You can also watch pros in their like overall positioning, right? And that sort of thing, right? Positioning. There's so many different things you can do to make yourself like a better player, right? And it all just depends on like what you want. So my question is like, what direction do you want to go as a player? and I'll help you with that.
Well, I mostly want to like just rank up. Like, I want to get better. Like, I want to be immortal. I want to like scrim for better teams. That's mostly it. Like, I've kind of stopped like focusing on content creating. I just
Okay.
want to like get better at the game.
Just want to be better. Okay. I mean, how many hours per day do you want to put into the game?
I don't know. I could put probably like 6 into it. 6
Like
hours a day.
6 hours you sit on your computer. Okay. It just
Like 4 days a week. Any other day, I could probably do like all day.
Okay. So I'll write you like something that's pretty, what I like to consider all day. All day. So I think ranked is like mentally taxing, but it also depends on like what you have available. So like if you have, so I'll put it in order, right? Scrims like 3 to 4 blocks per day if possible. So this is kind of like if you are able to play a higher level competition in a team setting environment, this will help you the most, right? But obviously if you're like just scrimming whatever, it's like, you know, this is obviously the best way to do it. It's like 3 to 4 hours of scrims, right? And obviously ranked games, right? Ranked games, you know my rule, no more than 7 per day. 7 games per day is like the max you should ever go in my eyes, right? No, obviously there's certain situations where sometimes you'll play more, but this is like 5 hours, right? So it's like if you really had all day, right? Let's say you're playing this. Well, actually, this is what I do, right? I'll show you exactly what I do, right? 4 hours, right? For me, right? So this is like my kind of like routine of Overwatch Soldier 76. That's what I've been doing for the last couple days, and it's helped my gameplay a lot, right? So it's 2 hours, which roughly leads to about 6 to 7 games. 7 games, which is funny enough because I'm almost masters in Overwatch. I don't even know how that happened. I've just been
Really?
playing the game.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Well, I mean,
I was like flat. I used to like Pocket Mercy, and that was it.
Well, okay. I also used to be a top 500 player like a really long time ago. So it's like Overwatch isn't like a new game to me, right? Deathmatch, right? And then I just do like 3 to 5 DMs per day. So for this is like literally like 20 to 30 minutes because I hate DMs now. So it's like, you know, 3 to 5 per day. 5 per day, and I just use the weapons that I use in games. So for me, like I literally just play 3 per day. I log on, like after I've done my mechanics work, I log on, I play 1 with the sheriff, 1 with the vandal, and 1 with the classic, and then I just call it a day. I just get off because I fucking hate DMs. But yeah, so this is kind of like the way that like my thing is, and then VOD reviewing. So I do this always with somebody if possible. So for example, like what you kind of do with me, find somebody that's more knowledgeable about the game, right? That is Immortal, that is Radiant, right? If possible, and then sit there 1 hour. And this could be like a full day of like CuDee's like playing, right? A VOD review, and then it's just like, you know, watch pros to understand macro of the game more, watch yourself to see the common mistakes you're making, right? For self-realization, self-reflection, right? Find more tech, right? Like there's a bunch of different ways you can do it, right? But for you should probably focus on the basic and watch yourself for like self-reflection and that sort of thing. Cause like a lot of the mistakes you make are very like glaring and very clear, right? And it's like, okay, I'm doing X, but instead I should be doing Y, right? So this is kind of like if you had quote unquote all day, if you really want to dedicate, what is this, 12 hours, this is literally like 12 to 13 hours of playing games and like trying to get better per day. Now a more time suited thing, it really just depends if like what like 6 hours means to you in like 6 hour version, right? So it really just depends, right? Obviously scrims greater than ranked, right? So pick what you want to play, right? But for the most part, it's kind of like, what do we want to do, right? It's like maybe 5 games of ranked games. So this is actually 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours, 2 5 hours, 2 5 hours, so 5 to 7, right? Also don't forget to take breaks, right? So this is essentially like literally an all day thing, like it will consume all of your time, and it will drive you mentally insane. So it's like ranked games, obviously you want to play about 5 per day, 5 games per day, or 7 if you have no, like, well, 6 hours. I don't know. It's kind of weird. 5 to 7, obviously, depending on how you're feeling, games per day, right? And then mechanic practice. Also, don't forget to warm up before you play. Warm up is important. Warm up before you play, right? We've talked about that. It takes about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Mechanical practice, right? There's like 2 different ways you can go about this, and that's why it's funny. It's like, fuck. Okay, my brain is like fucking making me click space twice on everything because it looks bad. So I want it to look prettier. But yeah, So 5 to 7 games per day is going to take about 3 to 5 hours, right? Mechanical practice can be anywhere between the ranges of 1 to 2 hours, right? VOD reviewing, right? So soldier slash DM slash warm up, and then what is it? What else exists? Fucking VOD reviewing, right? VOD reviewing, right? 1 hour, 1 hour. Watch yourself play slash pros play. Right, this is like the shorter version of your day, right? You obviously don't get to do everything, but it's pretty scrims greater than ranked, right? So if you have scrims, play scrims over that. But yeah, that's kind of like what it would look like depending on how many hours you have in a day and like what you actually want to do. Any questions about any of that, or does it all kind of make sense?
No, yeah, it all makes sense. I'm glad I showed you like a bad game. I think
Yeah.
that'll help a lot.
I think the biggest thing is like, I think the biggest thing you really need to focus on is like your mental and your thought process. Once you kind of get those in check, you'll be in a lot better situation because you'll start learning faster.
Yeah.
And then also your mechanics is something that really does like hold you back. Like it's not that your mechanics are terrible, but at the same time, right? They could be a lot fucking better. And so that is something that you can think about because it's like, obviously having mechanics will bail you out of those bad situations, right? It's like, fuck, like maybe I positioned myself poorly, but assuming you have your thought process and mental down, and then once you get your mechanics, like, yes, I played the situation stupidly, but I won because my mechanics are better, right? Once you start thinking like that, you'll be okay, right?